Hey Crafty Peeps, I have some fun Easter DIYs for you, so let's get right into them. So last year, I got a Michael's grab bag, or as I call them, boxes. And if you don't know about these, after each season or holiday, Michael's does grab bags. And they just put a ton of stuff in them, and they're $5 each. So I got this box for $5, and it has like 1,000 eggs in this box, all sorts of different styles, pastel, bright, glitter, and I was overwhelmed. I thought, oh my goodness, next year I am gonna have to do a lot of projects with these. And so that is what this video is. Every project is using some of these eggs. This project, I am gonna use some of this burlap ribbon. You can really use whatever you want as a base. I just had a lot of that. And then some of this Excelsior. This is something I also got in one of the Michael's grab bags. I got a bunch of that too. And then I'm going to use these eggs. Aren't they beautiful? So these normally retail for $4.99 a bag. And then this is a stem from Dollar Tree. Not 100% sure where that greenery came from. It didn't have a tag on it. And then of course, one of these wreath forms from Dollar Tree. So what I'm doing here is just cutting a little bit of burlap and adding it to the four edges. That will make it nice and clean for when I wrap the burlap all the way around. And this is just going to be our base. I'm not going to cover the whole thing. So you do want a nice fabric or ribbon here. And then I'm just going to wind it all the way around. As you can see, I'm just cutting all the stems down, and I will place them on here till I get it how I like, and then I will glue them down. And I got them placed how I liked them, and so I wanted to keep them in place, so I just set my bottle of Mod Podge in the center to hold them in place. And then, like I said, I just glue them down with my hot glue gun. And just to give this some extra stability, I'm just taking some of my twine and wrapping it around all of these stems. I'm really trying to make things a lot sturdier. I really want them to last, especially this project, because I loved how it turned out, and it's definitely staying with me in my decor. And so this is just a little extra step. Like I said, let's just get it a little more secure. And so then after this step, I'm going to use the Excelsior and I'm going to create a nest. And so I just kind of keep building on it until it's the size that I like. And then I will glue that down as well as my eggs. So you may find it odd that I'm putting a bird's nest on a cross, but this is how I was looking at it. Spring is a time for rebirth, new life, um, and that is also what the cross represents is, our Savior rising again. And so I feel like they can totally go together. And so I just picked up this ribbon from Michael's. It was on sale for $2.99 and I just thought it was beautiful. It just has a really pretty white trim on it. And this is just one of my shoestring type bows. And then I add another little piece of lace and ribbon and add that to the center. And I am so in love with how this turned out. So right after I got that big box of eggs, I think it was a few days after I was in the Michael's clearance section and I had found this huge wreath form on clearance for, I think it was $2. And then this Celebrate ribbon I got in a Michael's grab bag at Christmas time. And so I am really trying to use up some stuff I have. So this project retails for almost $100 retail, and I was able to make it for maybe $3 because of those Michael's grab bags. So they're a definite must to go check out. So I am just going to take this ribbon here and I'm going to wrap it all the way around, just like I did on the cross project. This is actually like a fluffy ribbon and I was really excited to get it, and then I hadn't really thought of many projects with it. And I thought I had just enough to cover this wreath form, and sure enough, I had literally the exact amount. So it wasn't quite 2 rolls, but you could use anything. I end up covering almost all of it, and you can't even see it. But when I started the project, I really didn't know how far the eggs would go because I only had so many of a certain color, a certain like style. And also, I don't think I mentioned this yet, but this wreath form is 30 inches. And so typically wreath forms like at the Dollar Tree are 14 inches and sometimes 18. So you can imagine the size of this. Of course, you can also tell how large it is based on my body sitting there. And so what I was showing you earlier is these bags, they have 14 eggs in each bag and they retail for $4.99 each. So it is absolutely nuts that I got so many in one box. I should have counted and I didn't, but yeah, there's a lot. And so I think I use about 250 eggs on this one project. But you don't have to use that many. I was just trying to use them up, so I just kept making the wreath bigger and bigger and wider because I could. But it still would look amazing if you didn't use that many. So if you're questioning what you're going to do if you didn't get a huge box of eggs like this, Dollar Tree carries really neat speckled eggs, and I think you get 6 or 8 for $1. So keep that in mind. You can also use the actual Easter egg type ones and you can paint them or do all sorts of things with them. And you would probably make this on a much smaller scale than I'm making it. But I was definitely going to use up as many eggs as possible. So as you see here, I am just gluing them down. I kind of had a pattern. I kind of went in rainbow order a little bit, but that ends up going out the window when I start just adding them all over. So I just glue and glue and glue, and they're so sturdy. And I definitely recommend the fine tip glue gun for these because it was way easier to get just a little bit amount of glue in between the eggs. And I was just showing you there that this particular pack has small eggs and large eggs. So I am going to just show you the finished project here because I don't think you want to watch me glue 200 eggs down. But you can see how I started it and I pretty much just keep going. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lisa Kennedy, and I bring you budget decor. I mostly do Dollar Tree crafts, but I also do some trash to treasures and thrift flips and things like that. So I hope you'll stick around by hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you're one of my subscribers, thank you so much for your support. I had ordered these stems from Michael's literally years ago, and I didn't like them, and I put them aside and totally forgot about it. They were still in the box. And when I was cleaning out my garage, I was like, oh, look at this. And so actually there's 6 of these stems. So you're going to see me use 3 here in this project, but then I actually went back and made the other 3 I had identical. So this ends up being really long. So what I'm making is a garland out of this, and I saw this really neat garland across a mantle in one of my design magazines, and I thought, ooh, I want to make that. So what I'm doing here is I am tying these together with some twine, and then I will glue it as well, but I'm really finding that tying things with twine really helps add that extra sturdiness. And I will add the glue to the twine as well so that it doesn't twist around. So I'm just going to do this with all 3 of the stems and then cut the extra little branch part off. And now I will add the eggs to this. These particular leaves are really thick and they make it so easy to attach the eggs to. And again, this fine point glue gun has been so amazing. These are the first projects I've used it on, and it's from Surebonder, and it's their limited or special edition Lynn Lily, so it's super cute too. But you can see there I have it off of its little charger, and it can go off the charger for, I believe, 2.5 minutes, and then it charges right back up within like 30 seconds. So it's just been a really great glue gun. Have been using their big one, and I love that one too, but for fine projects, I'm really excited to have this one now. So again, I'm just going to be adding the eggs here all the way down, and that's it to this project. And it just looks so nice as an addition to your decor. And like I said, I end up making the other 3, and this could go all across your table like a table runner. And I didn't connect the 2 together so I could actually have a centerpiece, and then these could go on the sides. So that is an option as well. But I love how this turned out, and I had never thought about putting stems together to make a garland, because you know those garlands are pretty expensive. And so with 3 stems here, I was able to make a good size garland. So this is another wreath project. Again, I'm using these grassy green stems that I'm not totally sure where they came from. And then this wreath form from Dollar Tree, as well as this cross that's also from Dollar Tree. And then, of course, some more of the eggs. So I'm just going to cut these down so that I can place them around and glue them down. I was so excited to find this wood cross at Dollar Tree. It's absolutely beautiful, and it actually lights up which is so neat. But I just am, for this project, I'm gonna take it apart and just use the front. Now I left it natural colored. I really liked that look, but you could definitely paint it or stain it and that would look good too. And then I also keep that little tea light. I pop it off and I can use it for another project. So I'm just gonna glue this down to the middle here, and then I will place the eggs around it. Again, I just think this is so beautiful. I'm loving adding the crosses and the religious aspect of Easter along with the beauty of spring and eggs. I just think it looks really good together. What do you guys think about that? So I do glue the same amount of eggs on the right side as well, but I spared you watching me glue. So, and here is the final look of this project. And another wreath. Again, I'm trying to use up as many of these eggs as I can, and this is how many I had left of this particular color, and it's just such a beautiful peachy pink. So I'm laying them out, kind of trying to decide how I want my wreath to look. Do I want my eggs side by side? Do I want them to be a little bit crooked all the way around? Do I want them from end to tail? I decide to end up doing them from side to side. Also note, I know if you've noticed that my light changes quite a bit in between projects. I prefer to film in natural light, and I have a window right next to my desk, and I'm just a natural light type of person. And as a former photographer, I should say former, I mean I still love photography, but natural light that's just my thing. But sometimes it gets dark and I'm not done and I turn my light on and whatnot. So hopefully that doesn't bother you any. But again, I'm just gonna go around and glue all these eggs together. Also keep in mind as you're doing this to keep checking your circle because you want to make sure that you don't accidentally start making it more of an oval or more of a line. So I just kept checking to make sure that they were still going to fit into a circle. And now I'm going to use various ribbons that I have for this project. I'm making one of the flat expos. I put a piece of twine down first and then I layer my ribbons. I do this a lot when I have pattern ribbons that I really want to show off. And so I'm just cutting it in strips and laying it down. So this peachy ribbon was in my scrapbook stash. It is probably a good 10 years old, and it actually has adhesive on one side, which is really great for scrapbooking. And it actually was really great for this project because I could keep it in place better. And so like I said, I'm just cutting these down. I think every ribbon here, except the very first one I used, was all clearance ribbons. I buy my ribbon whenever possible on clearance. I do not like to spend a lot because I like to have a lot. And so I'm sure none of these cost more than maybe $1. and they're so cute. Little bunnies. You can't quite see the pattern, but it is super cute. Both of them had bunnies on them. And then I just tie it together, and it kind of gets a little funky when you tie it, but you just spread it out and fan it out until you get it to your desired um, fluffiness, I guess you could say. And you can just keep adding and adding and adding. I know other creators call this the messy bow, but they add like 10 more layers. And now I'm just going to put some more twine and glue it up at the top of my project here to make a hanger. And I just do it in like a U here, but then I decide that it looks better if I knot it. And so I go ahead and just give that a knot. I glue on the bow, and then I saw that it just needed something in the center. And I have these cute little burlap bows with a pearl in my stash. I'm pretty sure I got them from Hobby Lobby a while ago, but I'm not 100% sure. But they're already made, and they're so cute, and it comes like 6 in a pack. And that's it. This project's done. It's so pretty and springy. I really, really love how this one turned out. For this next project, it is an egg tree, and I'm giving you a little bit different perspective here with the camera because I thought you'd be able to see what I was doing better than overhead. So hopefully that was a good decision. Again, there's 2 sizes, and I will use them both. And so what I do is I just start making a base. And I have no idea what I'm doing, you guys. This was like, let's see what happens. And I think it turned out pretty good. Not my favorite project, but I definitely could see potential maybe doing, adding some grass, maybe some of the moss in between the eggs. I think that would be really cute. So anyhow, I'm just going to start gluing them together. Again, this fine tip thing is so nice, and I can't believe how sturdy all these projects are. I don't know if it's just like the type of plastic from these eggs or what, but it's very sturdy. Like this project, I can just pick it up by the top and it's not coming apart. And so, yep, just gonna keep gluing and gluing, and I will get a nice base, and then I'm just gonna go up from there. So what you see me doing here is just taking my little pick, and I can just pick off any glue that I, spilled over that looks clumpy. I can just peel it right off, or I use that to get the little glue strings off, and that works too. That little paint tool is from Dollar Tree. It comes 2 in a pack, and it's probably the thing I use the absolute most. I use it all the time, and it's great. There's one flat end and then one that is like a metal poker tool, I guess you would say. Okay, so as you can see, my base is coming along here. And then I think I add maybe a couple more before I start building up the sides. Nope, I guess I'm building up the sides now. So now I'm just going to put, I'm going to start wider and then just work my way into smaller circles all around until I get more to like a pyramid shape. I wanted to show you guys my Dollar Tree manicure. They sell packs of nails in 6 colors in a pack, and you can mix and match them and just glue them down to your nails. I use the super glue that's safe for fingernails, and it makes the best little manicure, and they stand up totally fine to me crafting and washing my hands, and I mean for $1, and I can get a couple manicures out of it for that price. So way, way, way better than the crazy expensive uh, gel polish I was getting on them at the salon. So as you see here, again, I'm just building up the sides. You can see how I kind of started putting them a little bit more closer to the center. I'm going to show you a little bit more of the gluing, but again, I spared you watching me glue and glue and glue, and then you can check out the finished project. And feel free to ask me any questions if it wasn't clear on how I got to this point. For this last project, I grabbed some of these stakes, wood stakes from the 99-cent store. There are 5 stakes in there for $1.49. Really good deal. And again, using some more of these eggs and some twine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to poke a hole here with my little poker tool, and then I'll use my scissors kind of to make a little bit bigger of a hole. Then I'm going to tie a knot in my twine, and then I'm going to shove it down into that hole. And I just use, again, my little poker tool and just push it down in there. These particular eggs are very soft, and it was really easy to make a hole in them. And then I just use my glue gun again just to put a little bit tiny glue in there. Again, a fine tip glue gun is going to be a must on this one. And again, super sturdy. I could hold it up, no problem. And so I've already done all the other eggs there. I just showed you how I did one of them. And now I'm going to take my stake and lay it across, and I'm going to come up with a pattern of how these eggs are gonna hang down. I'm sure you've seen a lot of macrame type projects that hang down kind of like this, and that is kind of where I got the inspiration. And I'm just going to do different lengths for these eggs. And then something you don't see off screen here is once I get all the eggs laid down, my stick is just a little bit too long, and I just cut it down a little bit with my miter shears. Now that I have my pattern in place, I am going to tie these around my stick with a single knot first. And I'm going to do that to make sure that they're in place the way I like them, they're the length I want, and then I will go back and double knot them so that they're more secure. Now to double knot it, I bring the egg over in the opposite direction and then tie my knot. I want it to kind of go sideways just so it's a nice, clean, flat knot. And then I can still move these around a little bit as far as the spacing of them. I wasn't super accurate. I didn't measure in between each one. I just kind of eyeballed it, and you can see I can kind of slide them around still. So now once I know where I want them and they're in place, now I will add a little bead of glue to the knot so it won't come undone, as well as a little bit of glue for the string to the skewer, stake, whatever, so what it was. And so that way it will all stay down. So this is something that can have kind of a dual purpose or two different ways to style it. It can be a wall hanging, or I put it on my mantle and the eggs are hanging down, and I thought that looked really neat. And so I will show you how I styled it. But again, this could be a wall hanging. And even though I used so many eggs on that project, this is how many I still have left. Quite a bit. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Leave me a little egg emoji down in the comments. And I have more Easter videos coming for you, so stay tuned. And I will see you next time. Happy crafting!